been a great weekend to be a sports fan in the state of Michigan. Stick around and hear what happened.
Turn that off. It's time for No Pad Sports Talk. Stay tuned as two brothers bring you the latest from your Michigan teams and beyond in hockey, baseball, football, and more. Let's get started. Here are your hosts, JD and Steve.
All right. Well, welcome to another episode of No Pad Sports Talk. I'm getting some major. There we go. I gotta turn that off. I'm getting some bleed through on another tab here. It is Sunday night, and as my brother stated, it was a great weekend for Michigan sports. We had the Wolverines come away with a victory against a hard-fought battle against USC. That final run was amazing. The Tigers continued to win, and finally, after today's games, got themselves in a wild card spot.
Yep.
And the Lions just got done finishing off the Arizona Cardinals.
Absolutely. So I kind of like to start with the Tigers, just real quick. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Right now, the Twins are losing. Kansas City lost. The Twins had a doubleheader, and they lost the earlier game. They're losing this current game. If the Twins lose again, which they're what was it 9-2?
Yes.
9-2. So that puts the Tigers up a full game on the Twins,
and they are currently their own destiny.
Absolutely, and they are currently tied with Kansas City.
Yes,
with record-wise. But as of today, they are in the playoffs, people.
Yes.
A month and a half ago, 6 weeks ago, we were not talking playoffs baseball for the Tigers. We were talking, hey, let's time to bring up our young guys just so they can start getting some experience up here. And holy crap, has it paid off.
And they did, right? They brought the young guys to get experience, but the young guys have carried this team. Look, the Tigers have a well-deserved day off tomorrow on Monday. Then they're home for 3 games against the Rays, and then 3 games against the White Sox.
Yep.
So the Tigers now control their own destiny, being 1 game ahead of Minnesota with 6 games left and all 6 games at home.
Yep. And the Twins, just looking at it from that perspective, the Twins have a tougher schedule than I think we do for their last couple of series.
Who are they playing? I mean,
you're supposed to have that.
Are they not?
You were supposed to have that, but now I can't remember.
I mean, you're the one claiming they got a tougher schedule. I'm just like,
well, I thought they had to play the Yankees.
No, the Twins actually play. They also got a day off tomorrow, but they play the Marlins and the Orioles.
Okay,
so the Orioles are a pretty tough team.
They are,
but again, so is the Rays.
Yeah. So Detroit Tigers, just get out there, keep doing what you're doing, because it's coming together. And whatever, I don't know if it's like that Detroit Lion mentality, the grit, right? That's rubbed off onto our Tigers. But they've been grinding it out. They had a couple of extra inning wins, right?
Yeah.
It just, they have not quit, and they've not given up, and they continue to push.
And just to look ahead as well for the Royals, since they're currently tied with the Royals for that wild card spot as well.
Yep.
They got 3 games against the Nationals and then 3 games against the Braves.
Okay.
So, coming down to 6 games is all it is. 6 games.
Yeah. So we got 6 games. The Tigers just need to have 1 more win than both those other guys coming out of these 6 games.
Yep. It's pretty incredible.
It is, right? So who's the first team? Because we're 4 games back so I think it was 4 games. Was it the Orioles in the first wild card spot? No, for the wild card spot.
Yeah, I think it was. Let me double check here. I believe it was. Yeah, Baltimore is the number 1 team for the wild card right now.
The wild card
They're 4
spot.
games above Detroit.
Now that's a lot of games, right?
Yeah. With 6 to go.
So not saying but bottom line is, we're trying to move up, guarantee a spot. So Because we're not going to win the division. Cleveland, it looks like they clinched that, or did it just clinch a playoff spot?
Cleveland, they won the division.
They
They're
won the
up
division.
8. They're up
They're
8.
up
So
8.
6 games
Okay.
ago. So
Gotcha. I thought I saw an asterisk or something next to it, and then when I started to say what I said, I was on the backside. I'm like, I wonder if that was just playoff berth and not the division. So,
yeah,
but yeah, so that's the Tigers. The young guys have been playing like my brother said. We brought them up. They're making great defensive plays. They're hitting the ball, and they're keeping themselves alive.
yeah. I mean, Parker Meadows made another awesome catch. Robbing a home run. He also had that nice catch out in right center field on the run. Again, all these
The
are just
diving catch,
prevent
right?
runs. And then you have Jace Young with that play today after the ricochet off the pitcher's leg. Barehand that and get that to first base just in time to get the runner.
Yep.
Trey Sweeney, running out to the shallow left field with a collision with Riley Green, but still holding on the ball and then getting it back into the infield to prevent the run from scoring.
Yep.
The defense has been just great, so.
Yep.
And it's all being, done by these young players. So it's been
And it's
exciting
funny.
to watch.
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like I wasn't really when the Tigers made that trade for Trey Sweeney, and we ended up. Well, I shouldn't say for him, but when we got him in that trade, there was a question like what was he gonna be, and he's not. He's been good. I'm just better than I was expecting.
He's been good, of course, as a defender. And then when you want to look at hitting wise, he's getting better, right? So, like, he's on a 4-game hit streak right now, and that's the best of his very, very short career, but if you're looking at like what he has done, just say going back to September 8th, we'll take it back to September 8th. That is 12 games. He's actually batting .342. So 342. He's got 2 home runs, 2 doubles, 13 total hits. And of course, the Tigers are 9-3 in those 12 games. So, and his slugging's .553, ops is a .948. So, like, he's coming on, again, getting better at hitting. So that's what I like to see, anyways, and a lot of those hits were timely. Like September 8th, he went 4 for 5, against Oakland. He had 2 hits today, 2 hits yesterday, and the loss. But anyway, just saying, It's exciting.
Absolutely, it is. So keep your eye out on everybody. Pay attention to the Tigers. Don't sleep on them because they're moving in the right direction. Nothing like getting hot at the right time in the month of September, late August in the month of September. I mean, they just been getting it done.
I remember talking about the Tigers. One real quick note about the Tigers. I think it was you that was mentioning something shortly after the All-Star game, and I was, very negative on the Tigers. And you mentioned something about, isn't that what Arizona did last year? Kind of get hot, get a wild card spot, and then get into the playoffs, and end up going to the World Series. And I kind of like laughed it off. Like, yeah, that's exactly what they did, but this is the Tigers we're talking about. It's kind of like
Right.
And here we are. I mean, it's almost the exact same scenario. A team coming from out of nowhere, clinching a wild card spot, and then who knows what damage they can do once they get in the playoffs. This bullpen's been amazing too. I gotta throw out a shout out to them. This whole pitching staff in general, but the bullpen has been really shutting people down. Bo Brisky, Holton, amongst others, been really good.
That's 2 games off, and then we got a series through the weekend, and then in the early next week because season ends. I think it's like, is it September 28th, 29th? It's like right at the end of the month.
Correct. So right now, I think it's Tuesday or something. I know they play
the Tuesday after, right?
Like I think it ends September 20th or 30th.
The 30th. Yeah, I think it's the 30th. But anyway, that's it's awesome. And it's just great to see because it's been a long time since we had this kind of excitement for the Tigers this late in the season.
All right, the last game is Sunday, the 29th.
Okay, 29th. Well, so we got that. Michigan, right? Let's go blue, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that there were many people that thought Michigan was going to beat USC. I'm included in that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I went into this game. I'm a realistic fan, right? I know I'm not going to win every single. Well, sometimes I have unrealistic expectations, but I'm looking. I don't know what we got at quarterback. We're gonna have Alex Orji played. It wasn't great. He only threw for 35 yards.
32, but it's okay.
32. It doesn't matter. It wasn't a lot, and it's
no.
So we didn't know what we were gonna get there. The running game was just phenomenal. I mean, we just came out and marched down the field. We got 2 long runs for 2 scores, and got up early, and then just held on. Because in the second half, it was a different team in the second half, and it sucked, right? Like, why do you change what you're doing from what you did in the first? Now, you just didn't make the right adjustments, and USC did. I guess that's the best thing I can say, right? And then Mullins broke one off, and then that was it.
Well, when Michigan runs for 290 yards, I would expect them to win in time of possession, but they actually lost the time of possession.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was a kind of like a weird statistic.
Yeah. So I will tell you, in the first half, Michigan was up on time of possession. I think it was 8 minutes coming out of the first half, but we had a lot of 3 and outs in the second half.
Well, Trojans had 17 first downs to the Michigan's 12 total for the game, right?
Yep.
And then they ran 73 plays to Michigan's 58. Like, that's a huge discrepancy. Especially for a team with 290 rushing yards. Like, that's crazy about the whole thing.
It is. Well, you have to break it down now, right? One run was 60 yards. I think there was a second run that was 50 yards. There was a third run that was a long,
Oh,
so
I get it.
You take those out, those 2 touchdown runs like that, and then it's not. But the perception of 290 yards, you're like, yeah, we should have held the ball for like 45 minutes, right? But with the long runs, that just wasn't the case. So still a lot to work on. It was a big win. It was our opening Big Ten weekend. First time USC has played in the Big House. It was the stripe out, and it looked awesome.
It did. It looked great.
It looked awesome. And Michigan fans have been known to not participate like that, right? Like, I've been to a lot of games where it's supposed to have been a maze out, and there really was, like, people forgot, right? Or just didn't care, and they wore what they were going to wear. But in the end, it looked awesome. Like, from our seats in section 16, when we looked directly across kitty corner to the north end zone from the south, we were looking in the south end zone, looking to the north end zone. It almost looked like the wing helmet, the way the yellow came down and it came across the front and it went up the 3 stripes going back. I'm like that. And my wife Jennifer, she's the one that actually pointed it out because she's like, it looks like the helmet. And I looked up and I'm like, it does. It really, and it did. So it was awesome to, obviously it was the first time. We've never done that at Michigan Stadium before. It was a big win. So next week they have Minnesota at home. Unfortunately, that's homecoming weekend for me here for my high school, and I will not be able to attend that game. But I'm going to be watching that game at home, of course. But yeah, I mean, if we're able to, kind of control the ball early, get up, and just play defense, against Minnesota, we'll come out here 2-0 in the Big Ten and 4-1.
So I'm gonna go ahead and play this video real quick, just for those that didn't see what the stripe out looked like. I want to go ahead and share this real quick. It's a quick 7-second video. It's not gonna take long. So
So that's the student section. That was the first thing you saw, that big yellow section. And then right here at the end of that video clip is actually my section.
Yeah.
So if you go back to where just after it leaves and pause it for me after it leaves the student section right there. So you can see how the yellow went up, the stripes. It's actually back a little bit. We went a little too far. But anyway, bottom line is it was really cool to see. You can see the stripe coming down, the one down the middle, and there's one going up. So you had all the yellow, the blue, yellow, and then you had that big yellow right there. So from my section, like when you look at it, it just looked like it could be basically the back of the winged helmet because of the way it comes down together in the back of their helmet.
Right.
But it was just really cool to see. And I gotta hand it to the USC fans. You guys travel really well because there was a lot. There was a lot of red there.
Yep.
So, again, USC is not a bad team. They're a good football team.
Yeah, they are.
Lincoln Riley's got a good team. So it just fortunately came out a W for Michigan. So I was very excited about that. It was awesome. And, let's move on to the next week. We just got to keep getting better.
Right.
Continue to show that you're going to throw the ball because Orgy tried to throw the ball deep a couple of, kind of put some, he needs to work on it. I think it's timing because he hasn't had a lot of time under center since fall camp ended, but we'll see what happens.
And then lastly, just today, right? We ended up watching the Lions walk away with a victory from a competitive Cardinals team.
Yeah. And early on, like we went down and scored, and then the Cardinals turned around and said, okay, well, hold my beer. And they went down and they did the same thing.
They did the same.
And I sent you a message. I'm like, this is going to be a shootout. Because I didn't get to watch as much of the game as I wanted to. Again, it's homecoming week, so I was stuck in the building. My seniors were decorating the hallway for senior week or their homecoming week.
Yeah.
And so I had it on in the classroom, and guys would come in and they're checking. We're all trying to keep up with it. But so like I said, I did not get to see as much of the game as I wanted to, but I did get to see enough of the game to see that the Lions grinded it out, and they did just enough. Bad thing, Ali McNeil went down, Barnes went down,
and Brian Branch concussion.
And Brian Branch potentially, we don't know what. I assume it's a concussion at minimum.
I did read it was a concussion.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So when I saw him go, when he made that hit, like the way he hit, he did not protect himself when he went to the ground, right? So not only did he have the head injury, like head to helmet, the helmet contact that he made, when he went down, his head actually hit and kind of bounced up off the ground because he was out. And
he was out.
It was a scary scene.
I'd say this, though. There is a remarkable difference with our secondary. Terry Arnold played really good.
Yep.
We got an interception. We needed it. I mean, obviously, it was not the best of passes. It got a little greedy. Kyler Murray did that a couple times of throwing into, multiple, coverages. 2, 3, 4 people around the ball.
Yeah, because Joseph got one, too, down there at the end zone.
Just lucky that it wasn't more, because it could have been.
Yeah.
There was some pressure put on him as well. He was able to use his legs a little bit, but ultimately, it wasn't that game changing.
Yeah.
So the Lions defense, the secondary looks really good. Terry Arnold is looking really, really good. I think this was his best game, in my opinion.
Yeah. And Hutchinson came through late in the game with a late sack.
Yeah.
Right? That stopped the drive. And it's big name players come up big time when you need it. St. Brown came up with a big reception late, right?
Well, you also had Jahmyr Gibbs with that hook and ladder play.
The hook and ladder, I saw it. I caught the end of that because I was cooking dinner too, so I caught the end of that, or the replay of it. And that was awesome. He caught that ball and flipped it up, and it was like this really cool crossing play. It was the coolest thing I've seen in a long time. And Laporta finally got a little bit of love. Had 2 catches for 36 yards.
He got hurt
great.
too.
Like the tight ends. Our tight ends have caught 6 balls today. For 70 yards.
here.
between Laporta and Wright.
Let me.
Gibbs, it shows us 0 receptions because, like, technically, I guess I don't know because they gave him the
it's
20
lateral.
yards on the. Yeah, they gave him the 20 yards for the hook and ladder. No, couldn't have been. How do you get 0 receptions, 20 yards, and a touchdown? Did he score on that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, here it is, right here. Here's a play. Like, totally designed that way, right? Obviously. Like,
Absolutely.
It was awesome. Anyway.
Yeah, it really was. How often do you see that play in the NFL?
When it's not a, like, final play of the game, where they're trying to score, the guy score a touchdown.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It doesn't really happen otherwise. But
Exactly.
that was the whole team. It was a team win. Goff started the game fantastic. Not miss anybody. Of course, he had the one interception, but I think I don't know. To me, it looked like that was more of a better defensive play than it was like a really serious mistake by Goff.
Yeah.
But I think Goff overall played a pretty good game, pretty solid game.
He did. 18 for 23.
He also ran it at the end of the game too to get the first down to kind of ice it.
Yeah.
So we got to give him credit for that as well.
Yeah. Montgomery. I know you hate hearing this, but Montgomery had another big game.
No, I don't
over
hate
100
hearing
yards.
Montgomery,
because you just want Gibbs to be running the ball, which I understand. I do too. But Gibbs had 83 yards.
I want the guy with a hot hand to run the ball, and in this case, Montgomery was having better production. So I would have stuck with Montgomery. I think Gibbs is your best shot as far as like home run hitter, right? Like he's going to get you a touchdown from anywhere on the field. He's capable of it.
Right.
Montgomery isn't. But Montgomery was a very consistent back today. And did you see that? It looked like he was crowd surfing.
Yeah.
That was
like the offensive line. Everyone he got picked up and they're just
carrying him.
Well, he's carrying it. They fireman carrying this. Go.
That was
like a battering ram. But yeah, it was good to see because the Lions, they gave up that game against the Broncos last week.
Bucks, but yes.
What did I say?
You said Broncos.
Broncos, whatever. It's a B.
Yeah.
I've had a really long week, and it's just Sunday for the new week. But anyway, so they gave up that game last week. They had too many chances to win the game, and they didn't take them. And
here's that play. I gotta show you guys for those that didn't see that crowd surfing from Montgomery. Here we go. I'm gonna show this one, and off we go. Runs to the left side here, and just watch. He gets stopped there for a brief second, kind of gets stopped, and then boom, his feet off the ground.
Yeah,
he gets carried for like 6 or 7 more yards.
And I thought, in something like that they'd stop, like the play stops because now he's not under his own power.
The ball would have been stopped. The progress is still going forward though, so
I get it. I mean,
I think if you pick up a guy and run backwards with them, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, that stops because his forward progression got stopped. But
yeah.
Anyway, that was pretty fun. Yeah, I like that.
But it was overall, I think we did what we needed to do to win the game, and it was great.
And just as a reminder, the Lions are going to be playing Monday night against the Seahawks next week. So they got the Seahawks, then the Cowboys.
Well, the Cowboys are looking bad. They just lost 2 games at home.
Yeah, but they also came roaring back there at the end and almost, had a comeback against the Ravens.
They did, but I don't know if that's just the defense that was being played.
I don't know either.
Partly part of the defense that's being played, or just how well they started to execute at the end. But
yeah, I have no idea. I just know that Cowboys do have some talented players though. So you can't
absolutely
really
they do.
Them.
Absolutely, I just it's not what I was not expecting that from them. 2 games in a row at home.
No, I wasn't either. Not at home.
And then like had to see what the Saints didn't do.
Yeah. That game it seemed like an ugly game. Like nobody's converting first downs, turnovers. Like it was just an ugly game overall.
Yep, sure was.
But while we're talking about that, let's look at our predictions, right? So for those that don't know, my brother and I we're picking every game, not against the spread. It's all straight up. But we're trying to have better picks than AI here from ChatGPT. And so far, we're not doing that great. And so let's just go over that real quick here.
We had 11. Well, there was 11 games played, 12 games if you count Thursday night. So 12 games played so far.
Yeah, there's the winners. 13. It says 13. It says 13 games, but
okay.
So right now, 13 games. Steve and ChatGPT picked 7 winners. I ended up picking 8. Now these games aren't included in our overall summary yet. We'll get that plugged in later, but you can kind of see here. Steve currently had 12 wins. I had 16, and ChatGPT had 18. So with that being said, Steve's 4 behind me, and I'm 2 behind ChatGPT. But if this holds up, I'll gain 1 on ChatGPT. But you can see here, Steve ended up taking the Falcons to beat the Chiefs tonight.
Yep.
And everything else is the same. So, nobody will gain or lose with these 2 games. So this will be the only game where Steve can make progress on myself and ChatGPT. Since we and ChatGPT pick the same winners, then, it doesn't matter. So I'll still end up. I still gained 1 on ChatGPT this week, though.
Yeah. So with 1 win, with 1 more win, I will have. This will be my best week. So I think I won 5. I went 5, and then I won 7.
Week 1, you won 7.
Oh, okay.
Week 2, you had 5. Yeah, that was a 5. bad week. Week 2, that was terrible. Yeah. So now we're here with week 3.
So I just need 1 more win. Progress. That's what I'm looking for. Progress.
Yeah, I mean it's a long year.
Which you know what we should do? We should.
Okay.
So at the end of the season, regular season, of course, we'll have a trophy presentation for who picked the most wins.
Okay, so what do you want to get me?
Oh, I'm not getting it for you. I'm already going to have it engraved with my name on it.
Oh, that's going to be a mistake. Just a waste of money.
No, it'll come true. It's going to happen. I'm going to be the Detroit Tigers of Pickle. And I'm going to come on strongly.
Come from behind, yeah. Well, we'll see. I wouldn't count on it, but anything can happen.
The problem is that we think so much alike, like having to pick different team, like a different game, because you don't tell me your picks until after I've selected.
Right.
So it's not like you can tell me what you've got, and I'm like, well, I'll take the other one just to make up the difference, which is fine. It's how
it should be that way, though, right?
It should be that way because we go in blind and here it is.
I pick mine before I know yours, before you pick. And then you pick without knowing my picks.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So it's going to be what it's going to be. We'll see what happens.
But yeah, so with that being said, the Chiefs-Falcons game just got started. And hopefully Chiefs win this one. I won't root for the Chiefs very often, but in this scenario, I definitely want the Chiefs to win.
Yep. Well, I felt like the Chiefs have struggled here in the last couple of weeks. They're playing Atlanta at home. In Atlanta, they're in a dome, of course, but Atlanta's been playing pretty good ball, and they are just moving the ball currently. So if that hadn't been caught, I think that would have been pass interference. Cousins has really got this offense moving.
Cousins is looking really good. Yes.
Yep. It was a good ball fake, pulled the linebackers up, and he just ball placement on that throw to Mooney was just incredible. So all right. Well, everyone, I hope you all have a really great week. JD and I are going to try. I got to get our picks in. It's going to be a really busy week. I got Powder Puff tomorrow, 3 straight days, like till 9 o'clock of float building, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then there's Thursday night football. So I'm trying to, if anything, I'll send you my picks, brother.
Yeah, that'll work.
And if you happen to be home early Thursday, before I have to be there at 5. Maybe we can do it then.
I usually don't get in or home till about 5.
Okay. So I won't, otherwise I'll try and do one on remote from my phone.
Yeah,
I'll just log in. I can log in from my phone, and while I'm out there, I'll do it that way. That'd actually be kind of cool. Kids can see me do my show.
Yeah, we can give it a go. See what it'll happen, whatever. But But all right. I guess for now, that is it. Definitely a fun weekend.
Yes.
We'll, as Steve said, we'll be back later on in the week with more picks and updates. And then, again, every Sunday we come back again with more updates. So with that, we appreciate you listening. If you made it this far, I appreciate you even more. Like, subscribe,
Absolutely.
all that stuff. We'd appreciate it, And
Share.
other than that, we will talk to you next show.
Talk to you guys.